What's up, everybody? It's been a long time since I have made a video, far too long. We've been doing a ton of snowboarding and cross-country skiing here in Buffalo, New York, and that season is just about over. And I've been thinking about a topic all winter that I wanted to make a video on, and that topic is learning how to learn. Now, this can be with windsurfing, with windsurf wave foiling, it could be with kite surfing, it could be with wing surfing, it can be with all kinds of different things. But the topic is learning how to learn. And I think there's a lot of us who are wondering, why are we not improving faster? And there's been days I've been at the beach and people have asked me, Eric, how can I improve? How can I get better at windsurfing or whichever wind sport you're involved in? And one of the first things I always ask them is, well, when you got on the water today, what was your plan? And 99% of the time, people don't have a plan. They get on the water, they're having so much fun that they just forget about any kind of a plan, and they're just enjoying the windsurfing, the kiteboarding, whatever it is that they're doing. So we really need to think about, how serious are we when it comes to improving? Now, I think there's three kinds of people when we talk about improving. The first kind is the person who just wants to have fun. They really don't care about improving. And if that's you, enjoy the heck out of it. And you can probably turn this video off right now because you probably don't need to watch the rest of it. So that's the first type of rider. Let's skip to the third type of rider. The third type of rider is the rider who only wants to improve. They want to compete. They want to get better. They just want to do whatever it takes to improve. And then in between numbers 1 and 3, number 2 would be a combination of both. And I think that that's most of us. Most of us want to have fun and we want to improve. So you can do both. So that's what we're going to talk about, and that's going to be the focus of this video. Now, when it comes to improving, one of the most important things is muscle memory. Several years ago, I had to go to traffic court because I had a traffic violation. And there was maybe 50, 60 people in the courtroom. The judge sat down and he talked about something that was really, really interesting. He said to the entire courtroom, he said, "Do you know why Tiger Woods is the best golfer in the world?" And then he went on to say, it's because of muscle memory. And the point he was trying to make is that when you roll up to a stop sign and you don't stop fully and you continue to roll through it, and then the red lights go on behind you and the police officer pulls you over, that's a muscle memory issue. And then he explained that if each time you get to the stop sign, you fully stop, come to a complete stop, and you do that 100 times, then you will build that into your muscle memory and you won't get any tickets for going through stop signs anymore. And I thought that was really interesting, and I've never, ever forgotten that. What we want to do with our wind sports is we want to discover the correct movements and then commit those movements to muscle memory. So first, how are we going to discover those correct movements? Well, you could hire a coach or take a clinic. That's a great way to discover the correct movement. Say, for example, you're learning to jibe, or you're learning to water start, or you're learning to tack, or any movement. If you hire a coach, they'll help you learn the correct movement. Then you can learn to commit that to muscle memory. Another way that you can learn the correct movement is by watching educational videos. There's a ton of DVDs that you can buy. There's a ton of videos on YouTube, and you can learn how to properly do the movements. Another way is to use video to record yourself performing the movements. Get a buddy, have them record your session, have them record your jibes, your tacks, whatever you're working on, go back home, study them, and compare those videos to the videos of the professionals and look and see what you're doing wrong. And then another way you can still learn how to do the correct movements is trial and error. Feeling your way through the movements when you're on the water, noticing what you're doing incorrectly, and then performing it correctly. Now, once you've learned to perform the movement correctly, we now have to build that into our muscle memory. And how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to do it with repetition, but not just any plain old repetition. We're going to do it with deliberate repetition. If you just do repetition, you're going to be limited by your natural ability. But if you use deliberate repetition, meaning that you do the movement in a specific way, you have a plan going into the movement, you have a plan for your session, you have a plan for all the different parts of the process, then you can deliberately perform the repetition, and that will burn it into your muscle memory a heck of a lot quicker than not having any plan at all. So, we need to have a written action plan. It can be simple, but it needs to be written down. So get out your word processor, get out a sheet of paper or whatever it is, and here's what you need to ask yourself. What do I want to accomplish? This is going to be different for everyone, but write it down. What do I want to accomplish? Now that you've decided on what you want to accomplish and you've really given it some good solid thought, now we need to devise a plan. Let's start with the yearly plan. What does your season look like in the area that you live? How many sessions do you get per year? What are the conditions that those sessions offer to you? You know, if you want to learn how to do jumps, it's not going to work if you only have flat water conditions. So you need to consider, what are your yearly goals? What can you reasonably accomplish in the year ahead? Then start to break down those yearly goals into session goals. So let's say, for example, that you want to learn how to carve jibe. So write down at your next session, what are my goals going to be at that next session? Be specific. Write it down, take it with you to the beach. Put it in your car, put it in your van. Make sure it's right there before you get in the water and read through it. What did I write down? What are my objectives today before I get on the water? So now you've got an objective. For example, let's say you're working on the step carve jibe and you're in the beginning phase of the jibe, so you're really thinking about the preparation. So you write down your objective for today is to get that back foot across the board, sink down low, and you go through all the preparation that you need to in your head before you get on the water. Now, once you get into the session, how are you going to structure that session? Because you don't want to do 2 hours of working on the prep for the jibe. That's not going to be that much fun. You're going to get bored. How are you going to structure the session? Well, I think a great way to do it is, start off with 15 or 20 minutes of just having fun. Go out there and just windsurf. Do whatever you feel like doing. Now, after that, dedicate 20 to 30 minutes to your specific objective. It doesn't really need to be that much more than that. And if it's less than 20 minutes, it reduces the amount of muscle memory that you're going to build. So stick with somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes of focused, dedicated work towards whatever objective you have for that particular session. So now you've done your 20 to 30 minutes of dedicated work with specific intent. Hey, the rest of the session, just have fun. Just enjoy it. So you've got the best of both worlds now. In the 3 types of riders, if we want to be the types of riders who have fun and improve, we're doing great because we're structuring our session that way. We're starting out with fun, we're having some dedicated, specific intent, and then we're ending it with a whole lot of fun. Keep your sessions short. An hour to an hour and a half is generally a good amount of time if you want to make progress. If you go with long sessions, 2-3 hours, you get tired, you start building bad muscle memory because you're repeating things when you're tired, it's burning it into your muscle memory, and if you're not doing them properly because you're tired, it's going to be with you just as if you had done it correctly. So it's better to do it correctly, reinforce those movements with proper practice, with specific, deliberate intent, and that will help you to improve much more quickly. Now you're going to need to keep a log of these sessions because you're going to need to look back from session to session, from month to month, from year to year, and the only way you can do it is if you keep a log of what you practiced during that session. So when you get home, open up a spreadsheet or a notebook and write down everything that you've done in that sessions. How many repetitions did you do of your particular movement? How long did you commit to those sessions? As much detail as you can. I think a spreadsheet is the best way to do that because then you can back it up to your Google Drive or to however you store your spreadsheets, and you'll have it with you portably when you're at the beach. If you can get an internet signal, you can even look it up right there in case you forget to print it out at home. But keep a log. Now you may be thinking that, oh my gosh, Eric, this sounds like a lot of work. You know, in the beginning it sounds like a lot of work, but it isn't. After you do this for 3-4 sessions, you're going to get used to it. It's going to be easy and simple, and you're going to say to yourself, you know what, that really wasn't that much work at all. So commit to it if you want to improve. Again, if you just want to have fun, then do that. But if you want to improve, we have to take the proper action steps if we want to get better. If we want to take this seriously, we have to do serious actions. So I hope this helps. I really enjoy making these videos. I'm sorry it's been so long since I've made one. It's just been a great winter here in Buffalo. And if you like this video, please click the subscribe button down below, and that way you'll get more notifications of when videos like this appear. And I really hope that these help. I have a lot of fun making them, and we'll see you guys on the water. Have a good day.